Alright, today I would like to briefly discuss my thesis proposal with you all regarding the Pacific theater of World War II and how it is viewed in the American mindset. The theater was the subject of bloody fighting for nearly 4 years, where the U.S. Navy and the U.S. Marines played a critical role in the defeat of Japan. I propose that the U.S. Army also played a crucial role and that victory would not have been possible without their assistance. While their Army's role has not been forgotten, what has mainly been focused on is the retaking of the Philippine Islands, and more specifically, General MacArthur's physical return, rather than the soldiers who did the actual fighting. Instead, the American mindset is much more focused on the role of the Marines, with the Army's role relegated to support or mop-up activities once the true fighting was done, if it has been recognized at all. While it is tempting to support this narrative due to the amphibious nature of the theater and the Marines' specialty in that type of warfare, they were in fact only one cornerstone of the ground campaign against Japan. For despite the Marines' specialty, the Army still played a vital role in the war, including working with the Navy for their own amphibious landings and fighting their own grueling fights in the jungle. The Army not only had their own area of operations known as the Southwest Pacific Area, where they performed solo campaigns, they also fought side by side with the Marines in the Central Pacific Area, which was their primary area of operations. Yet, despite sharing many of the same battlefields, the Army's experiences and sacrifices are often looked past when credit is given for victory. This is true not only in the campaigns in which they fought with the Marines in, but especially true in their solo campaigns fought up to the retaking of the Philippines. This research has been shaped and will be built upon using primary interviews from Army combat veterans, which access was gained to from the Library of Congress's Veterans Research Project in a digital format. With these primary sources, it will be shown not only how the individual soldier was shaped by the same grueling experiences as the individual Marine was, it will also be shown the frustration that many soldiers feel in their hearts at the Marines receiving all the credit, while their sacrifices and loss of life across the Pacific are largely forgotten, or at times even ridiculed as easy duty. Personal narratives will also be utilized, written by two combat veterans of the Guadalcanal campaign, Floyd Radix while serving with the Army, and Robert Leckies while serving with the Marines, from which a comparison and contrast will be able to be made through the eyes of two men who experienced the first offensive in the war. These narratives will be used to demonstrate how the Army viewed the Marines as arrogant, while the Marines viewed the Army as soft, a rivalry that would have ramifications in future campaigns and continued until the day of victory against Japan. While current research doesn't exclude the Army's role completely, it has been made to seem less significant with each passing year. The earliest work on the subject, John Miller's Guadalcanal, the First Offensive, provides a fair assessment, giving the Marines credit for the initial invasion of the island and the Army credit for relieving the Marines' effort in concluding the campaign. Contrasted with Eric Hamel's Guadalcanal Starvation Island, and he provides a different image of the same battle, one that is much more in line with the current image, where the Marines did the heavy fighting and dying, and the Army arrived only after the campaign was essentially won, and didn't have the same level of gruesome warfare. While there are many books written on the Marines' role in the war, the literature on the Army's role is rather lacking in comparison, either having their engagements thrown in with larger books about the war such as Charles Bateson's War Against Japan, or by lumping their engagements together in one book about the New Guinea campaign and their drive up to the Philippines, such as Stephen Taft's MacArthur's Jungle War, rather than an independent and separate analysis of each battle fought in that grueling endeavor. So what is the significance of this research? While much has been written about the Pacific campaign, the Marines are given a disproportionate amount of credit for success, which contributes to an inaccurate image in people's minds. It is up to academia to set their record straight regarding the Army's sacrifices, and that their contribution should be honored just as much as their counterparts in the Marines are. The following is a brief bibliographic summary of the initial research.